Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nightmare Comics 1, and it's been like a little bit over a week now, and I wanted to do something kind of special. Uh, as y'all already know, the Avengers movie is coming pretty soon. I can't remember the exact date right now. Sorry, brain fart. And in commemoration for the Avengers movie, I wanted to take the main team, every single one of the members on the team in the movie, which is Hawkeye, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Black Widow. If I'm forgetting somebody, let me know. Yeah, I think that's it. But every individual member of the team and pretty much take their best story, I think, in my opinion, that has ever been told about each character and review it. Just for the hell of it. And this has been a lot harder than I thought, cause I still haven't decided on a Thor story. I'm narrowing it down between two Captain America stories. Um, Iron Man, I got three in mind. One I really like, but is it really the best? You know what I mean? It's probably my favorite, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best. You know what I mean? Um, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Then favorite. Then I know which one I'm gonna pick. Cause I mean, it's all about a matter of opinion. This story I chose may not necessarily be the best to everyone, but it's probably my favorite. There's only one Hawkeye story I feel like you could even mention, so that's gonna be the one I use. And Black Widow. There's only like two or three, so but Thor and Iron Man are the Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man are the tough ones though. So, but this character was not. I chose the Hulk to start with because there was only two stories I feel like are even debatable. You know what I mean? And there's a reason I chose this one and not the other one. The story I chose was Future Imperfect by Peter David, art by George Perez. This is just pretty much if you want to just take something from Peter David's run on the Hulk, it'll probably be this story because this story is incredible. I'll get to it in a second, but I know a lot of people are wondering why didn't you choose Planet Hulk? Planet Hulk is so amazing, blah 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 blah. I agree, it is amazing, but I feel like in order to in order to say that's the best Hulk story ever, I feel like you have to include World War Hulk also. And I feel like World War Hulk had like real problems, so I didn't go with that one. And even as a standalone story, I feel like this is a little bit better. Even though I love Planet Hulk though, I absolutely love that story. At some point, I'll probably just review that for the fuck of it, but I feel like this is a little bit better. Yeah, but little synopsis. Alternate future. Uh, Pretty much the world is ran by one man. The man is known as the Maestro. I get to who the Maestro is in a second. And these group of freedom fighters, they come to the past to get the Hulk, because the Hulk is the only man that can stand up to the Maestro. Okay, the Hulk, he creates a little bit of ruckus out in the city or whatever. I mean, this is a brief. I mean, it's more that kind of leads to this, but I'm just gonna stay with the story. Um, he creates a ruckus or whatever. He escapes with some of the freedom fighters. They tell him pretty much the situation is dire. It's the reason why we came to the past and got you. Blah 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 blah. And then he meets the leader of the freedom fighters, and he finds out it's Rick Jones. And if you don't know who Rick Jones is, it's like the Hulk's only friend. You know what I mean? Like the only person that Bruce would trust. And even still, as he's A-bomb now. Even still, it's the only person he would trust. You know what I mean? Everybody else, he just don't trust. Um, and Rick Jones tells him what's going on, blah blah blah. And during all this time, you see the Maestro, and he looks like the Hulk. You know what I mean? And then if you find out, it pretty much is Bruce Banner, just like in a just like Bruce and like what Bruce would become. You know what I mean? And pretty much, he tells him that, he talks about how, this is his world, and he finally realized that, the only real way of saving the world is ruling it, things like that. The Hulk, Maestro finds out where the Hulk had hid to or whatever. They get in a giant fight, which is an amazing fight. It's one of the one of the best fights I think ever in comic books. The art is like beautiful here. Like George Perez did amazing on this book because that fight is so dope, and the way it ends is even more awesome. I ain't even gonna ruin that, but the way it ends is more awesome. Let's put it like this: the Hulk loses, and as he's recuperating or whatever, Maestro shows him around and things that he's changed or whatever, and he tells him like, just join me, and you don't have to worry about running anymore, and pretty much being, chased as a monster or whatever. This is the logical way to live. Just join me. Blah 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 blah. The Hulk tells him he'll think about it. He obviously doesn't, and it's all a part of another elaborate plan. They get in another giant fight. The Hulk ends up winning, or whatever. I'm not even gonna spoil how. Just it's awesome. Like you just need to read that, and that's pretty much the story. Other things happen. It's something really sad at the end of this story. Very very sad. It's like it almost made me cry when I read it, like when I was younger. But this story is amazing. Like I just chose this one because Greg Pak's run on the Hulk, Planet Hulk, his run on the Hulk, as great as it was, I'm not gonna say it was necessarily defined by Planet Hulk, you know what I mean? Because he did a lot of other, like creative things and different things. It's the standout story of his run, you know what I mean? But it didn't necessarily define the whole tone of the Hulk, you know what I mean? Like, he did a lot of things in his run. Meanwhile, Peter David's run, I would say that this story kind of defined like the type of Hulk stories he told. You know what I mean? And he was the first person to really make the character, I don't know, have a brain. And and kind of what am I trying to say? Like do things. You know what I mean? That were different than what people expected, like from Savage Hulk or whatever. I mean, his take on Grey Hulk, things like that. You know what I mean? Like he was I feel like people ask me all the time. I love Greg Pak's run. I really did. I felt like he was the right person to write the Hulk at the time he did. But I feel like Peter David, his run on the Hulk is like one of the greatest comic book runs of all time, and like this is to me the standout story of that run. And I feel like when people want to just latch on to one story that he told more than any of the rest, you know what I mean? I feel like this one is the best idea. Like if you read this book and you realize that you like it, then you'll like most of Peter David's run, because it's amazing. Like this ain't the best review. It's probably gonna be short. It's a pretty short story, but well worth it, man. Like I would definitely recommend this book. Honestly, like one of the best. I feel like one of the best, or this story. I don't even know if it's out on trade. I just have the issues that it came out with. But I feel like hands down probably the best. Like one of the best Marvel stories of all time. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's up there. Like if I had a top 10. This would probably be in the 10. You know what I mean? That's just being honest. Planet Hulk would probably be in the 10 too. But like, this would definitely be in there. But anyway, y'all, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace. The next one will either be I'm gonna save Cap for last. But like the next one will probably be Thor probably. So I'll holler at y'all later. Peace. Yo, back real quick. One quick thing I forgot to mention is the trophy room. Like the pretty much the Hulk killed all the heroes from the past, right? So it's like a trophy room he has with like Captain America's shield, Iron Man's helmet, Wolverine's claws, and pretty much his entire exoskeleton. What exoskeleton? His entire skeleton with the adamantium bonding and stuff. And he has like well, I mean, well, it's not his, but like the refugees, they found all these relics and stuff, and it's kind of like in this room they have. And Rick Jones, he's an old man now, so his chair is like Professor X's chair. I just thought it was just a cooler tidbit I should mention. It's pretty cool to see all this stuff, by the way. Anyway, like I said, best Hulk story ever told. up there with Planet Hulk. That or Planet Hulk. Any other answer is just wrong. That's just my opinion. But I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out. Next one, like I said, will be Thor. Alright, peace.